Hey guys, Aramis555 here, just coming to you guys with a deck profile. It's going to be my updated Inzektors. I filmed this before, but it was a bit too long, and for some odd reason it didn't want to upload onto YouTube, so I'm doing it again. Not going to say a whole lot, it's just that I'm sure a lot of people have seen the build that won that Regionals. I don't think his build was that great. I do like the 2 Insect Imitations, I think that card's still really good. But I honestly think that he was running a very strange build, and as far as I've heard from a lot of people, that Regionals was A, really small, and B, there's not really a lot of really good players in that area, so yeah, I don't know. My build's changed a little bit. This is more of a budget build. My card Ds right now are in my windups because I just love windups so much right now. I think it's one of my favorite decks. It's just a lot of fun. So I'm not running them in here. If I was going to bring this to a tournament, I would be running the cards, but this is just like how I'm running it casually, and just for fun. It's still really competitive. Like, I play my friend's finished Prophecy deck quite often. I can beat that really easily. It's a great match versus Evil Swarm. Elemental Dragons is a bit harder, but this deck actually does have a chance against them for a low tier deck. So anyways, without further ado, we have 1 Dark Arm Dragon. You have to run it, it's your boss. And then you have your 3 Centipede. Not a whole lot's changed here. He's the main engine of the deck. You need him. 3 Ladybug. I've seen some people running just like 2. That's bad. You need to run 3 Ladybug. There's just too many cool combos you can do with it. It works with Insect Imitation. It's obviously the best thing to use with it. And it plus Centipede is generally what you want to open up with. The 1 Dragonfly, which is usually the card I always search out with, and the 1 Hornet. Then obviously you have the 1 Giga-Mantis. He's just there for the OTKs. You can beef up your guys, etc., etc. He actually helps you get over Ophion as well, even though really Ophion's not a big problem for this deck. And the 1 Hopper. I do like this guy because he's there for Shockmaster plays. He's good for rank 4 plays. He's just another Inzektor to pop, and he's something else to special as well with Dragonfly to once again make rank 4 plays. Now my new engine I'm running, and I'm really liking this engine, is 2 Tomato and 1 Armageddon Knight. This is very similar to the guy who was running the build, the top 16 the YCS. This card's actually really good. I kind of started hating this card, but I have to give it credit. The thing with Insect Imitation is it has to have it plus a Ladybug for it to actually be viable. Now the problem with that, of course, is that that's 2 cards. The thing with this is just 1. So as long as you have the Tomato and you can go like Crash and grab Dragonfly and then you start popping, you're generally going to win. Like, you get Dragonfly, Hornet off, you win. It's also good, obviously, it's a defensive card, you can set it, and then the best thing as well is you can go Tomato and then especially into this guy last, dump the Hornet, and then your whole deck's live and you start cycling. The 1 Armageddon Knight's fantastic. I don't know why I wasn't running that before. I kind of wish I was, because you get those games where you like open up Inzektors, but you have no way of gaining anything in the hand or the graveyard to start doing their effects, and it's just really frustrating. And I hate having to equip like a sword or Giga-Mantis and waste it just to like go minus with an MST just to get it off. It's just not worth it. So now I'm running 2 Card Troopers still. I'm not a huge fan of this card. It's really bad versus like E-Dragons and pretty much any of the top decks, but it's just good because, once again, milling's very important. Getting that Hornet in the grave or Ladybug as soon as possible is very, very important. Works fantastically with Call the Haunted, and I mean, it's still not bad. It's a 1900 beater, so it's good against those rogue decks. And I'd probably like game 2 and 3. If I was playing like E-Drags, I'm going to side these out for Max Cs, like hands down. These will be Max Cs. So, and then last but not least, I'm running Gorz. Some people are going to be like, ew, that's bad because you're running Call the Haunted, but generally you're not going to do, like, the only time you're going to do a Call the Haunted play and then leave the Call the Haunted sitting on the field is if you do like a Dragonfly XYZ play. That's not going to happen very often. And the other thing as well is that obviously your call can just get popped. If you need to pop something, get it off the board. So Gorz is just good as well. People just don't expect it, which is obviously really nice. Next up is 2 Zektcaliber. You have to run 2. That guy who won the Regionals was running 1. That is extremely awful. I've seen some people running 3 as well. Way too many, and then 1's just not enough. Because, I mean, 2's just a good number. It's just a great number. 2 Pot of Duality. Static Consistency gets you to your Centipede, Ladybug, Hornet, whatever you need for the time. I'm still running triple Mystical, 1 Storm. I've seen some people kind of Mystical down to 2 because they're all so afraid of E-Dragons and Prophecy. But this card's still fantastic because you can still pop your own stuff and then get your effects off. And like, I've actually OTK'd people because I had Heavy Storm in my hand against decks that it was dead. So I think you do need to run those cards because cards like Macro and Defisher, well, not Defisher, but Macro, of course, really hurts this deck. D-Fisher can hurt you if you can't, you know, you open up a bunch of calls and then your one card gets banished or something. One Insect Imitation, I still like the one. It's just great to have there just for the combos. Just makes it a little bit more consistent. I did like 2 a lot in my other build. I thought 2 was really good. But once again, it was the issue with you had to open Insect Imitation with Ladybug. Otherwise, it was generally dead because the only other thing you can Insect Imitation into is Hopper, which isn't that great, although it has won me games in the past. I was running 1 Forbidden Lands, but I decided to take it out because I think I'd rather have draw power, and since I'm running the Tomatoes and the Armageddon Knight now, and the Gorz, I mean, I have more targets that could potentially just be dead in my hand, so Allure's alive, and that way I don't always have to feel like I'm obligated to banish something that I might need, like one of the Inzektor cards. Last but not least is Foolish, Monster Reborn, and Dark Hole. I actually kind of want to put Book of Moon in here. I'm just not sure what I want to cut. I may cut out the Allure or something, or the Insect Imitation, just because it's really good versus, obviously, Draco Sack, because you can book them, and then you can use Hornet, pop him, and he can't use his effect because obviously he's not face up. So next up, for the traps, you still run 3 threat anymore, you gotta stop those OTKs, and people just don't expect this card. They blind MST it so often, it's still so good. 3 Call to Haunted, it's the best card in the deck. I used to run 2 for a while, but I just found like I never drew it, and when I did, it just got mystical anyways. But once again, not a lot of people are running triple mystical right now because of the format, so this card's even better. Lets you go off, lets you OTK easier, lets you abuse Dragonfly like it's nobody's business, and all around, it's just a very, very good card. Helps you manipulate the graveyard as well for Dark Arm Dragon plays. And of course, actually, you can bring Gorz back. I did win a game doing that one time. 2 Torrential Tribute, I don't like Bottomless right now, it's just not good versus E-Drags. I mean, it's okay, because if you save the Bottomless for the Draco Sack, then you just banish it, and obviously he doesn't have any tokens in the field. The one problem with it, of course, is that Bottomless only hits one card, and if they mystical it, much like if they mystical this, then they're just going to go off anyways. But I still just like Torrential better. I mean, generally, if you play it right, you can like have a Card Trooper, a Threatening Roar, and a Torrential, and if they mystical the Threatening Roar, you're good, but if they try to go off, then you use Torrential and you go plus. So, and then last but not least is Solemn Warning and Solemn Judgment. So that's the whole deck, guys. It is 40 cards. I don't have the extra deck together for you, but it's pretty much the exact same as it's always been. I think I've had it in other videos. You just run like the rank 5s you need, like Volcasaurus, Tyrus, Crimson Shadow Armor Ninja, which is amazing. I love that card. Exostag, rank 4s you run Abyss Dweller, Shockmaster, Lavalval Chain, and then you just run all like this generic rank 3s in Nagachi, so it's pretty generic. But anyways, I think Inzektors are really viable against this crazy format. I do recommend people to run it if you're looking for a cheap tier 2 deck that can, you know, have a chance against the crazy meta, because unfortunately, guys, we're going to be suffering with this bad format for another 3 months or so, so you better get used to it. And it's one of those situations where if you can't afford those crazy decks, then you might as well go a little bit lower and play something like this, because this deck is extremely cheap to build. I mean, really the most expensive cards right now is honestly the swords. I think are like 20 or 10 bucks each. Armageddon Knight I think is 15, and everything else is just really, really cheap. It's really going to come down to the extra deck where you need all your cards. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I do have 2 other deck profiles coming up for you guys. I did put my Psychics back together. I know people have been waiting to see this. It's pretty much the exact same as it was before. I just changed a couple cards. And so far it's testing really well, and this deck is not competitive. It's not competitive whatsoever, but it's just really fun. And I mean, right now the game's so bad that I'm kind of at the point like I might as well just have fun with it rather than worrying about being competitive, because I'm just going to wait until the ban list is hopefully fixes things. But really, this and Wineups is my 2 competitive decks. Other deck I will be showing you guys is Samurais. I am doing a different build, no asceticism, but I'm doing red-blue Sams because I think it's actually really good right now. It's great versus Ophion because we have a hard time getting over him if we don't go first. So red-blue Sams is really, really good. Anyways, guys, yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and keep an eye out for those other deck profiles coming up soon. Peace!